Hi, Karla Lee from Voice for Kids. Wanting to talk to you briefly about what a good example or a role model is for children after separation. So sometimes after separation, you're so overwhelmed by what you're personally going through that you find it hard to control yourself in many of the situations that you face with your ex. Sometimes your kids are playing up and it's just overwhelming. And sometimes you have that heavy burden on yourself, like I'm not a good role model anymore for my children, I'm not a good example, because you haven't dealt with, as I said before, personal things that you're going through. You haven't helped that broken vessel that you are to be able to help your children. And you really feel down because you're not being that good role model. But what I want you to understand is you can change that. You can be that good role model for your children. It's actually a choice for you to rise above certain circumstances and situations. Get that counselling you need. Get your mindset in a good place. Understand where to release certain information when you're going through hard times. Obviously, don't release them to your children. Find a good friend or find a counsellor, someone that you can release that anger and frustration to so you can get it off your chest, but get constructive criticism of how to implement better mindsets and better ways of handling things. To be that good role model for your children is by not acting out in front of them, not talking bad about the ex in front of them, but showing them a good example of you rising above situations. So if you are in a position where your ex is maybe always attacking you by email, by phone calls, by things, it's to show your children that it doesn't you don't react with it. It doesn't actually put you in a place of frustration, that you rise above. And when you might have your child say, well, dad or mum said this about you today, a good role model would be to not react off that comment the child said to you. The child might come home from a visit and say, dad talked about you the whole time really badly. And your role model position is to not act off it, to not get frustrated by it, to say, that's okay, it's okay, maybe dad's going through a hard time at the moment. So to be that good example for them, to be that good role model for them, is to show your children that you know how to rise above a circumstance and a situation, because they also need to understand how to do this themselves. That's why you are the role model as a parent. So it's important that you put yourself in a position of strength, get the counselling you need, find a place to have an outlet, but show your children that even though the circumstance and situation might not look good, for them you can rise above and you can be a good example for them. I'm Karla Lee from Voice for Kids. Talk to you soon.